Oh well. Okay guys, I will actually be testing out with this full armor Gundam. So I'll only be going into this free tutorial here. So firstly, I guess I will be equipping all my all of the parts of a sub limit use, as this is like sort of the guideline, right, for all the sub shooter. Two more of the sub weapon use. Okay, so with all of this, now it became 7 shots for both the sub weapons. And you can see the sub weapon 2 has a 100.3 seconds worth of cooldown. Okay, let's go into the testing. So before I go on any further, there's like a sort of table that I'll be using to do some sort of you know, to have some baseline. Okay, so you can see all 6 shots is 679 for my main weapon, and there is 10 shots. Okay, then for my sub weapon 1, it's actually, oh shit, then it actually kind of blocks it. 1508, let's see again. 1508. And for my sub weapon 2 is actually 1782. Let's confirm again. Yep, 1782. So the total for those would be saying that will be equal to the sum of all those, which will come up to about 29,820. And I'm going to reset this so that I will be able to tell, right, with one full burst, if I'm able to actually have like to refill the skill meters. Yeah, let me do something. So let's see now. So I'll be using the main first since it has the fastest cooldown, and then I'll just be spamming those sub weapons. Just a bit okay, so it seems to be able to refill. That's great. Okay, so this is the first that we're gonna try. So now let's go and change like one or two of the parts. Okay, so let's do some sort of calculation first. Like we have how much of this sub weapon use limit. So 43 plus 35 plus 43 plus 41 gives me 162% sub-weapon use limit. Okay. And roughly, I mean no need the rough, but a total of 1884 range. Okay, so since initially I believe we only have 3 shots each, so we should be looking at like an interval of 33% or 1 in 3. So in this case we are 162, so we are like 10% over it. So let's see if we can change some of the things. So I'll probably be changing out this third range equipment. So I have a buffer of like a 10%, I guess. So I'll be going to look for main range together with sub-weapon use limit. Okay, not this. This is reload. Reload. Okay. So I have this 31%, which you can see here. Like there is no drop in the sub weapon despite having a lower percentage. In fact, I actually gained like 2 shots, I believe. Yeah, 2 shots of my main range attack. So let's see what this thing changes. I'll probably be using the one that is 199 range with just 28%. So let's go back straight into it. Hi, thanks for following. Okay. Let me just make a new table again real quick. I mean, I know you guys can't see the table, but yeah, trust me, there is a table there. Okay, so my main range now is 649. So there's actually a 30 damage drop. And then for my sub weapon one is 1441, roughly around 60. It dropped in 60. Sub weapon 2 is 1896. That's weird. For some reason, it felt like the sub weapon 2 has an increase, because previously it was like 1782. Interesting. So for calculation wise, there is actually an increase of damage, but I'll be doing a reset again just to see if this thing refills and like how many bars. So like previously it was like only 5, I guess, 5 bar, which actually is more than enough. And if you guys got any suggestion also, do let me know, because I don't think I'll remember all the different options that I will have. So same thing, I'll be doing the MinMax first because it has the fastest cooldown, and then now I'll be spamming the sub weapon. Maybe I'll try to get close to it. So like you can see, the MinMax is already fully reloaded. So you can see here it's actually around 6 bars. So it does refill, but it's 6 bars, so it's actually 1 bar more than the previous one. So let me try to do a calculation of actually how much is the total limit, the total sub limit that there is now. So previously it's 162, so now is let's see. So I'll be splitting up this thing. So 119% for sub limit, sub weapon use limit, and 28% of main range and sub use limit. 28%, and of a total range of 1801. So to give you guys a perspective, the difference between both, meaning the one that is firstly with all the sub weapon use limit like to the max, is 28,462, and for my the one that add in this main range, it actually increased by 1,400 roughly. So now if this case, if I want to further, I will try to mix in the what is it called again, the beam range. Let me see. Okay, why don't I just change away this main range and then try to input in the where is it again? Oh, sorry, it's not this effect too. I'm talking about this here, this Vega, Hashma chip beta. So I'll be trying to use this. I guess I'll be taking the 25.3% one. So in this case, you'll only benefit my my main range, my sub weapon 1, and a bit of SPA. So let's see. So for me right now, I have a drop back to 8 shots for main range. My sub weapon is 6 now, so one shot less for both. So let's up to testing again. Okay, so for main range is 723. 723. For my sub weapon one is it blocks 1606. For my sub weapon 2 1518. Is it because my sub weapon 2 always changes or what? Because apparently it's actually lower, getting lower now. So based on this calculation, actually there is a decrease of this total burst. I'll call it total burst, where I use all this main range and sub weapon. So I guess I don't have to continue the refill parts because I probably won't be using this since the overall damage is lower. Okay, so I will just be indicating like a fail experiment for this. So I will be still changing out this beam range attack. Now let me see. I believe there is one for just general all range damage increase. Where is it? I believe there is a main range. What is it called? Wait, let me see. This is the one I think. So this Gundam Testros. Oh, sorry. I'm going to brutally destroy the name, so I'm not going to try to pronounce this now. So I'll be changing it to this. So that my main range and sub weapon will have increase in attack. So let's try. So yeah, maybe let's look at the number of shots that we have. It is actually still the same for this same as the previous one with the beam range attack up. Okay, let's start now. So for main range is 682. 682. Sub weapon 1 is 1794. Oh sorry, sub weapon 2 is 1794. Let's see again. 1794. Sub weapon 1 1514. Let's see again. 1514. So in this case, it's actually lesser compared to the one that I add in with main range. So let's see. So basically, it's safe to say that actually the one that has main range use limit up is actually much better in this general sense. So so now I will be trying to exchange one of the parts. Okay, now I will be resetting back to the one that has the main range sub weapon. The use limit up. Yep. I believe it was this one, I guess. Okay, So since we do have some sort of idea that this is the best, so now I'll be trying to do like maybe a decrease to, since currently now my sub weapon limit is actually 119%, plus the 28% is 147. So I'll be trying to reduce it by 27% or by 43%. Let's see. So I guess I'll be trying to remove machine here. Do I need to care that much for 344 and 279? I don't think so, because to me card rate is actually very important to survive. But in this context, since I don't really have to survive, let me just do the max, absolute max that I can do now. Let's see again. Yeah, I can drop this. So what if I add this in? Is main range sub weapon attack up. Although I did drop around 200 something of total range base stats. So let's see now if it will be better, or is it the worst? So before we start, we have 10 shots for main range, 6 shots for my sub weapon 1 and sub weapon 2. So I have 648 for my main range. Sub weapon 1 is 1438. Sub weapon 2 1890. So in this case, it's actually even worse than using full sub weapon use limit right now, because the total so-called burst is actually lesser by around 2000 compared to just purely using sub weapon use limit. Okay, I guess I also probably won't be using these two. Let's see, is there anything else I can do? So this one, not gonna use that anymore. Let's see what else I can do. Should I try to put in this? I mean, this is a good one, simply because of this effect 3 that is plus 262, right? So it will compensate the previous drop in exchange of the use limit. So let's see again. So once again, same 10 shots for main range. Sub would be sub would be 6 each. So main range is 769. That is a very high damage. 769. Sub weapon 1 1709. Okay, and my sub weapon 2 is 1878. Now I see. Um, okay, so in this case, let me actually see the so-called refill, because based on the table that I have right now, it's actually lower than the one that I mixed with min range sub limit. That means it's like the so-called compensation of this sub weapon limit use, right? For the percentage increase is actually making me lose a total burst like around 600 damage. Okay, so oh yeah, sorry, I should go back and then see the review again. Okay, so now main range again. Okay, sub weapon 1, sub weapon 2, 1, 2. Yep, so it's 5 bars. Which is good, but I would prefer the one that I just simply add in the. Okay, this two is actually viable. So let me give you the two so-called viable thing that I found out. So for my sub limit used for this case, sub weapon, I mean, the use limit is actually only 43 plus 35%. So it's actually 78% for just pure sub weapon use limit without adding the 28 yet. Okay, then and then this total base stats for the range is 1784. Okay, so let's see now. So for me right now, the one that I would prefer would be using the 119% sub weapon. That means 3 parts of sub weapon use limit and 1 part of main range and sub weapon use limit. Then the second viable one is actually your 78% sub weapon use limit. So with this case, having 2 parts of sub weapon use limit and 1 part of main range and sub weapon use limit, and the beam attack up 19.7%, but do take note that this might be different if your this parts, right, your range is actually the effect tree has no base range stats, so it might be different. So why don't we just try and see? I believe I do have some more main range parts. see if I were to use this, would it be better? Beam range attack. I don't have the substats. Yeah, I don't think it'll be better. So let me try find the one that has sub-weapon use main range and sub-weapon use limit up. Okay, this one here. Sacrificing this one. For I guess this and shit, that was a shot, I guess. Where should I use limit? Oh, this is a oh, I actually have a much better one. I guess this, but it's 13% though. Let's see, is there any difference between me using a 13% and an 18%? Yeah, it does. There is a difference. So I guess I'll be using this then. So this is a max use limit for both range and sub-weapon. So let's see how much shots do we have. I mean, not how many shots. What is the stats or what will the table shows? Okay, so firstly let me write down the number of shots that we will have. 16 shots, 6 sub and okay. So main range will be 5 to 5, which is totally not good, I guess. Sub weapon 1. Okay, I can't see the number. Let's see again. 1165. Really? Really 1165? Okay, it's much lower. 1530. This is very, very bad. Because compared to the one that I would prefer, or compared to the previous two builds that I would prefer, it has 29,000 total bursts. Compared to this is only 24,570 based on calculation. But I believe there is a lot of bars, a lot of skill meter bars. But we can determine that easily. So let's check. Okay, it's about close to 6 bar. And the main range is not. I mean, it's almost reloaded, but it wasn't. So it's like 5 bar and like 5.9 bar. Yeah, compared to mixing the sub weapon plus that means 3 power of sub-weapon and 1 range and sub-weapon use limit. It's actually much, I will say much worse based on this test I'm doing right now. So judging from this, I would say that despite having more bars, because typically you are aiming for either 4 or 5 bar and nothing more than that, because it's like it will be a drop in efficiency. However, when I try to change the so-called decrease the sub weapon use limit, actually it's a drop in damage. So it's actually okay to have that additional 1 more bars. Yeah, seems like that's it. Nothing much I can change. Is there something I'm not looking at? Let's see. It feels like I already tested everything. Okay, why don't just for fun, right? Let's try to see how fast we can get the reload to be. Okay, let's see. Which one should I be looking at? Because judging by this cooldown, I guess it's more efficient to just drop the sub weapons. And just dropping sub weapon 1 or 2 doesn't seem to be ideal. So let's do purely sub weapon, but since I only have 3, I'll be mixing one with the double, that means main range and sub weapon reload. So this one here, 3%. And then come on, rest on the other 3. Okay. Okay, this one here. Wait, where is it? Oh, the other one is actually a negative. Let's see if I have any one of the parts that is in effect free. If only this part here is range plus, or like you know, like a so-called base stats for range. I think this part will be like godly. I don't really have any parts. Shit. Never mind. Okay, for this case, we just have to make do, or just randomly have just show you guys if it's somehow being like a sub weapon. So for sub weapon 1, it will become 30.8%, and for 30.8 seconds. Sub weapon 2 will be 37.8%. which is let me rewrite it down somewhere. 10.7, 32, sorry, 30.8%, 8 seconds, 37.8 seconds. Okay, so what is the original? The original is 11 seconds, 35 seconds, 43 seconds. So using this, you have a decrease of 0.3 seconds for your main range. Your sub-weapon one has a decrease of 4.2 seconds, and your sub-weapon 2 will be 5.2 seconds. Yeah, I guess that's it for my testing here. Hope you guys find this helpful, and see you guys